I was so excited, as you know, with the Playmate, and I'm guilty of. I put it on everybody.
He
I
does.
didn't care, and I tell you what, yeah, you know what, I loved it, and it helped because most of my people I taught, there's some in the '80s, but '90s, hundreds, it immediately helped them,
Yes.
and they felt it. And as an instructor, it was like, holy cow, I've been trying to help you with this for a while now. Now you got it in this, this little brief period of time, you felt it.
Sure.
And so then, people are like, aren't you just going to be teaching? Because I was teaching the 7 protocols that you and David Woods did. I mean, I went through it, and I get people observing me out there. Neil, you're teaching a cookie cutter swing. You're teaching the same swing to every. But how would you answer it? Because I get people ask me all the time, you use that. Aren't you just teaching everybody the same swing? How do you answer that, Martin?
I mean, man. So, by the way, there's the 7 protocols, right? And then if you want, you can go, just go and register, and it's free. All you got to do is put your name and email, and you get the advanced protocols. You can watch those. David and I put some good time in doing that. But there's no question that there's like margins of success. Okay, I don't mind if a guy whips it inside a little bit. That's fine. When there's a good striker who takes the club back and zips it inside, what concerns me is if he's a good striker zipping it inside, can he pitch the ball? Because when the club goes a little awkwardly inside too soon, is that going to work on like a waist high to waist high kind of 40-yard pitch shot, right? So sometimes the long swing can masquerade some of the issues that may not work well when it comes to 15 to 60-yard pitch shots, which is a big part of scoring your golf ball, right? So when somebody says to you, man, you're teaching a cookie cutter, and you say, no, I'm putting you in these margins of success. There's leeway in there, but most of my clients are 50 and older. Okay, so I'm 51. Most of my clients are my age or 80. All right,
okay,
and they all want to hit it farther. They all have it's like fixing a bit of a cavity. Most of my clients whip it inside. Their arms get pinned. They don't elevate enough. They don't give themselves room in their backswing for this weight of the club to kind of shallow behind them at all, because they don't build a decent backswing, right? Now, if you stick to your guns, Neil, and you keep working these margins, and people they'll have latitude within there for their own personal feels, but I wouldn't try to necessarily put somebody into like a Matthew Wolf model right away, right? Like, the kid's fantastic. I love watching him, but like he was that way before George Gankis got hold of him, right? George was just smart enough not to change his kid's natural abilities to smash a golf ball. He just fostered, confidence and belief. And now the kid believes and feels like he's going to go beat everybody. And when you feel that way, you probably are, right?
Exactly.
Now, so the cookie cutter thing, here's the thing. Every good teacher's got their preferences. I don't care who you are. And every good teacher's got their positional choices that they like. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't use a video camera. Because if what are you looking at if you're not looking at some kind of a margin that you kind of want somebody to be within, right? Exactly. If somebody whips it way inside and has to steepen things in the downswing to make the shot work, okay, that's fine. If somebody is hits a peely slice that goes into play all the time, I'll have the conversation with them. I'll say, hey, listen, you've come for a lesson, but you don't realize you're wildly consistent. And they'll look at me like bizarre. And I'll say, well, let me show you how consistent you are. Yep, you hit down on the driver 4 degrees, you hit left on the driver 7 degrees, but the mean of the average is like as consistent as could be. It's just that your consistent isn't something that makes you happy. Your little peely fade that might, for your 90 mile an hour typical, 55, 60-year-old man golf swing, that 85 or 90 mile an hour could produce something that flies 210, 205 and rolls at 240. Maybe you fly at 170, it rolls at 200. But darn it, you're going to find your golf ball most every time you hit it. Now, if I start messing around with how the club is delivered and this sense of how you organize the sequence of your swing, you may not find a golf ball for a while. Now, if you're prepared to make those changes, I'm prepared to explain it to you and show you a way to do it. Now, you got to weigh what you want. Because if you're an 85 shooter and you really want to be an 80 shooter, it's probably not going to be full swing fundamentals that are going to get you those 5 shots. Let me show you how to be really good with a wedge. Let me show you how to chip and putt a little bit better. and you'll save more than 5 shots. If you want to be sexy and hit higher draws and that sort of thing, yeah, there's some technique stuff, but there's pain that comes with that. That changing sequences is hard.
Exactly. And I people say that, oh, you're doing this, but you know what? By the time they take their habits and they take the playmate off, it, like you said, the margins, they go kind of in between, and it's, you know what, they're closer to the more correct way, but it's still, player A looks different than player B. They don't look the same. Always, exactly. I just wanted to hear your perspective on that. I thought that'd be interesting.
Don't mean to take over the conversation here, but you'd asked, Brian said something funny about the Shazam lesson, right? Like, Shazam, you're better already. So Brian, I do something funny in my golf school. When they all get there and we have breakfast, we tell some stories, where you're from, have a laugh. Where they all come back to my studio, I walk them in my studio, and I show them where the restroom is, where the water is, and they're welcome to come and go, and blah, 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 and then the range outside and stuff. And I actually have a magic wand. I really do. It's a plastic magic wand that I got at the Harry Potter exhibition in the UK. I took my kids to the UK. I did a couple golf schools over there. And my wife and I went to the Harry Potter thing, and it was great. And they sell magic wands there, so I bought one. And I say to all my students, like these 50 to 80-year-olds that come to my golf school, I say, I've got my magic wand, and you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to make a magic trick right now. I'm going to make you all 15-year-old freshmen in high school. And they look at me funny, and I say, you're a 15-year-old freshman in high school because I'm a grumpy old 51-year-old coach. Now, if you were trying to play for my team, play on my team in my high school, you're not going to make it as a freshman. You'd have to be a freaky talent. My juniors and seniors are going to make my team. I've already been grooming them. They're really good. We're going to win another state championship unless, something happens. Now, if I am 15 years old and I go see a coach like Brian, and Brian says to me, hey, Martin, here, son, you're doing pretty good, but I want you to consider this. And for this practice, here's what I want you to do. You know what I'd be like when I was 15? Yes, sir. I gotcha. I'm going to do it. You know why? Because I know Brian's a hell of a coach. And I'm 15 and I want to win that state championship. But I want to play for Brian when I'm a junior and a senior. I want to make that travel team. And I'm going to behave like I'm trying to make the team. And I'm going to listen to the coach. I'm going to do what the coach says. So here I am talking to these adults that are my age and older. But I'm treating them like a 15-year-old because I know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm not the best coach in the world, but I know I care, and I'm going to work really hard for you. And who knows what the best coach in the world is, by the way. But I know that I'm going to say something that, hey, just do what I say, suffer through the change, suffer for a while. Every shot's not going to be Shazam, boom, you're amazing. And if some coach thinks they can do that, they're full of BS. Now, they might have some immediate change. That's great. Fantastic. Congratulations. But suffer through the understanding of change. And guess what? You may make my team when you're a junior. And I got to tell that to a lot of rich 60-year-olds all the time. And frankly, I don't care. And they look at me like, oh, my God, you're being tough on me. No, I'm being tough on you because I care about you. And I want you to be a good golfer. And my coaches and I, we're only telling you what you need to know, maybe not what you want to hear. And you got to suffer the change. And guess what? You may get great dividends from that.
That's a really nice way of saying it, other than, hey, you need to be submissive to me when I teach you.
Shut up and listen.
That doesn't work too. I did that one time with a husband and wife, and the guy came in. It was like the 4th lesson at Windermere Golf Center. I mean, I just, I already had like 8 lessons, and guys like, what you told me last week, Neil, I saw on Golf Channel, this guy said I need to do this. And I just like, what? You know what? Until you're submissive to what I say, you're not going to do very well. Well, he left. The wife took the lesson. I never saw him again.
Right. No, there's a way to tiptoe around it, and I've probably done the same thing. But like Brian said, frankly, you know what? You got to be willing to lose a student. If you're a coach, that's your way, and good coaches aren't just placating to the student. Good coaches are like, it's like, hey, listen, guess what? I've told many a person, Brian, and Neil, and Kyle, I've said, listen, buddy, you're not good. Let's not fool yourself. Okay. You are not a good golfer. And they may be, but I break 90. I'm like, well, listen, and I don't mean to be cocky about this, but I can go take a left-handed set of Reynolds right now and beat you. And I don't play left-handed. Okay, and that's maybe being a bit.
All right, let's go, Martin. Challenge accepted. Let's go.
You bring the beers, he'll be buying them all. Okay. So, mind you, you're a 7 handicap. Yeah, you'd beat me. But my point being is that suffer. You don't know it all. I've had some super wealthy dudes come to golf lessons, and they are on top of the world. They could buy me into slavery, and they want to tell me everything wrong with their swing. And I'm like, buddy, if you know everything wrong with your swing, you wouldn't be here asking for my advice. Okay, if you would just zip it and just do what I'm asking you to do for this period of time and suffer this period of time, guess what? You might get better. Or don't do it and continue to suck. It's okay. You're paying me anyway. But now I want the upside of getting way better. You know, I really do.
I know. You know what, Martin? I got a great shirt from Olympic weightlifting. You know, I do weightlifting and everything. And it says, loud mind, quiet mouth. That's enough. Enough said.
Well, and I think, Martin, you said it in an essence. You're being a coach, and that's the way I look at myself, and I know you're the same way, and Neil's the same way as well. I'm not this pat him on the back. I realize that I'm not for everybody, and nor do I try to be, but you've got to buy in, and if you're going to get better at anything, you got to be willing to expose yourself and put yourself out there, because it's just not easy, and golf is hard. Let's face it. Changing a habit of any kind, if you think it's easy to change habits, well, if you brush your teeth right-handed, try it left-handed for a day or two and see how good you're at that. And most people are at my age are pretty good about brushing their teeth at this point in time. So it's just not easy, but being a coach, and I think that, like you said, I'm very fortunate. I'm in a very high-end place as well, and teach a lot of very successful business people. And I think that's the one thing that they actually like. We're probably, in our profession, guys, in my opinion, we're the one person that's not afraid to tell them the truth. They're used to everybody at their office half the time being scared to death to be honest with them, for fear that they, won't move up the corporate ladder. But we're just being a coach, and I think they tend to like that and respect it more importantly. And the ones that do get better. And Kyle, that's why, in my opinion, you've been willing to put yourself out there and getting better, and I commend you for that.
Well, it just comes down, if you're going to pay for a lesson, shut up and listen. I mean, seriously. I mean, you can talk shit about people behind the back. You can talk crap and you can get after it with them afterwards. But I mean, listen to them. Just listen.